You join me today as we've only lost one game in the last 9 since changing the tactic, the system. Unfortunately, it was in the last episode. Let's hope that we don't get the same today. Hello and welcome, a very warm welcome to episode 11 of Project Turnaround, where we try and turn around one of the sides that's fallen out of the Premier League, and in this case it is Brentford. My name's Mark, and on today's episode we have two games for you. The first up is the Carabao Cup quarter-final against Bristol City at Ashton Gate, and then we welcome Stoke City to the Brentford Community Stadium for the Championship match day 23. I'm recording this on Monday, so as it stands, it's around about 3:30. We haven't had any news of the beta being released. When it does, you'll see FM24 content come out as and when it gets released. We'll try and get underway as soon as we can. There's quite a lot on this week, but we'll see what we can do. So bear with me, and don't forget, if you do want to buy FM24 and you haven't bought it yet, there is a link below in the description with a code, and if you do use the link and use the code, you can save yourself some money and you help the channel to boot, which is rather splendid. Thank you very much. And don't forget, if you enjoyed today's video, you've enjoyed the series, etc., please leave me that thumbs up, subscribe, and hit the notification button. That helps the channel as well. Thank you very much. Before we go on any further into this episode, we did finish up the last episode where we weren't too sure who we would be playing in the FA Cup third round in January. But let's go and find out, because we're going to hand you to past Mark, who is going to do the draw for the third round of the FA Cup. We'll come back and do a roundup of what's been happening since you were last with us. And here is the draw for the third round of the FA Cup. Thank you to future Mark. And we start the draw today. There are 64 teams in the draw. And we're underway. Everton first out. They will play Derby County. Hull City will play Bristol City. Fleetwood will play Coventry. Sorry, that was a bit quick. Watford will play Reading. Port Vale will play Norwich. Queen's Park Rangers are going to play Walsall or Morecambe. Rochdale will play Aston Villa. Southampton will play Swansea. Tottenham will play West Brom. Northampton will play Wickham. Cheltenham will play Scunthorpe or Forest Green. Liverpool will play Burnley. Blackburn will play Newcastle. Cardiff will play Huddersfield. Crewe will play Middlesbrough, team we lost to recently. Peterborough will play Lincoln City. Stoke will play Chesterfield of the Vanarama National League. Arsenal will play Luton Town. Tranmere will play Ipswich Town. Brighton will play Sheffield Wednesday. Not out yet. Manchester City will play Leeds. Wanted to avoid them if we could. Sheffield United will play West Ham. Chelsea will play Brentford. We're playing Chelsea. So there you go. It's lined up in effect. Chelsea, who were the first team that we played in Football Manager 23, we're going to play them in this series. And as we close in on FM 24, let's have the rest of the draw out. And there is the draw. I'll go down very, very slowly for you, just in case you can see your team in amongst that lot. And we are away at Stamford Bridge against Chelsea. Tough match, that one. In the form that we're in, I don't think we'll be going much further. I'll hand you back to Future Mark, and he will show you how that fits into the schedule. Thank you to Past Mark. And yes, we have drawn the mighty Chelsea. We had it in our beta save this year with FM23, and I suppose it's the FM gods have sort of said, oh, well, that's a good idea. Your last save of the series, you can play against the team that you managed at the start of this FM23, the first series that we did. So making Chelsea stand proud. So that is the draw. It's 13th of January, so it will come up, I'm not sure, in the next episode or the episode after. It just depends on how, if we get through the Carabao Cup quarter final today, how that sits. So it could be Derby and Chelsea next episode. It could be a Carabao Cup semi-final first leg and Derby possibly, and Chelsea Millwall. I'm not sure yet. We'll work that out when we've got past today's episode and see how that all fits. Right. I can give you a quick roundup on what's been happening since you were last with us. As you'll see, last episode, Burnley a 2-1 win. Openda and Kane Lewis Potter getting the goals there. Pontus Johansson getting the one goal against Coventry. And, of course, if you remember rightly, we conceded a very, very late on, 89 minutes. Couldn't do anything about it because we were down, if my memory serves me right, were we down to 10 men? Or am I thinking of the other series? I might be thinking of my other series, to be fair. Anyway, yeah, we had a bit of a rum do there. Losing out to Coventry, an annoying dropping points as it was. But since then, we've played Peterborough away at the Western Home Stadium, beaten them 1-0. Very, very tight affair. Didn't look as if we were going to get through on this one. But Harry Winks, from the penalty spot after 89 minutes late in the game, finished them off and gave him a Player of the Match award. We're not going to show you the penalty. It's a penalty after all. Come on. Yeah, as you'll see, our two front players didn't really play particularly well in that match. Raya having quite a good game in goal. We had 15 shots, just 4 on target, 2 on the XG, 44% of the possession. They had 6 shots, 3 on target, 0.37 and 56% of the possession. I think we were sort of lucky, really, in that game. If we have a look at the data hub, right, did find it in the end. I was being a bit daft or something. I'm not quite sure what was going on. Yeah, I was looking at the match momentum for that game against Peterborough. As you'll see, as I say, very tight affair. They weren't really in it. They had the best of the second half, possibly, or 50-50 in the second half, until we got that penalty. But 15, 20, 25 minutes, they probably had the best of the second half. As you see, we did dominate in the first half and just couldn't convert our chances. Not that we created that many. Had plenty of shots, but didn't really sort of create the chances. The game against Preston was a slightly different affair. Dominated the first half, 3 goals in the first half, 3-0 at half-time. Preston had a little bit of a time around the half-time mark. We then dominated most of the second half, and by the time we got through to the last 5 minutes, which Preston had as well, we'd got a fourth goal. We'll go and have a look at the goals in that game. Lewis Potter opened the scoring after 18 minutes. He seems to be on reasonably scintillating form at the moment, which is good news. Lewis Potter. Janssen picks up the ball in defence. Comes forward. It's got Lafay there. Lafay crosses for Lewis Potter. Lewis Potter hits it as such a pelt that Woodman in goal couldn't do anything with it. 30 minutes on the clock, and this happened. Winks through to Perez. Perez to Openda. Openda just chips it neatly into the back of the net. Didn't do anything to miss the goal. 2-0. And then we had a penalty after 40 minutes. Lewis Potter getting his second and putting that one away delightfully. 3-0 at half-time then. And Lewis Openda getting his second on 78 minutes to wrap it up. Yarmolenko to Lewis Potter. Lewis Potter provided Openda. Openda puts it in the back of the net. And it's 4-0 on 78 minutes. So that's how it was. 15 shots, 7 on target, nearly 50%. 7.82 on the XG, 65% of possession. They had 10 shots, 3 on target, 0.52, 35% of the possession. Lewis Potter, having a fantastic game. He had 2 key passes, 1 clear-cut chance created. He produced that assist that you've just seen for Openda to score his second, and he got 2 goals as well. He had a splendid game and a well-deserved Player of the Match award as well. Let's hope he can carry that form into today's games. First up, of course, Brentford playing Bristol City in the Carabao Cup. We've played them once so far in this particular series. It was a 1-1 draw on that occasion at the Brentford Community Stadium. Today we are at Ashton Gate. Perez the scorer on that occasion. Harry Cornick the scorer for Bristol City, getting the equaliser after 81 minutes. Let's hope they don't do something similar to us today. Let's have a quick look at the table. If I can get the thing to it. I think it's... I'm not quite sure what's going on here. I think it's got latter FM 23itis or something or other. We are currently 8th after those 2 wins in the table on 38 points. Blackburn and Bristol City, excuse me, are immediately ahead of us on 39. Wolves are just in front of them on 40, and then Watford and Burnley on 41, which means as we are on 38 points, if we were to win our next game, we would have 41. We would be up amongst those, depending on how future results go, of course. But even then, we're still 10 points adrift of Sheffield United in the second automatic. But we would be looking to get in those playoff places and cement our place in there as soon as we possibly can as we move into the new year. And of course, we've got the transfer window coming up that we can hopefully bring in some players as well. Right, let's get on with the episode. And that first game of the episode, it's an EFL Cup quarter-final against Bristol City at Ashton Gate. And we want to see if we can progress to the semi-finals of this competition. And this is the team that will face Bristol City in this Carabao Cup quarter-final. Raya in goal. Nuno Tavares plays in the left wing-back. Starfelt, Mari and Roslev, the rest of the defensive line. Lewis Potter, De Silva, Yarmolenko and Lafay make up our midfield with Openda and Perez up front. Stroshka, Stevens, Bidstrop, Sharaway, Sorensen, Winks, Diversoglu, Kamara and Onyeka make up the bench. And this is how the two sides line up at Ashton Gate. Bristol City playing a flat back 3 with 2 wing backs. We're playing our 4-4-2 that we've been playing recently. Confirmation of the 2 teams for you as they come out on the pitch. First highlight comes nearly 14 minutes in. And Bristol City having a free kick just inside their half. And we've forced them back at the minute. Naismith out to Cam Pring. I thought they was going to take the ball off him. Then who was that? Lafay, I thought he was going to step in and try and nick that ball off him, but they've forced them back again. Bajic in the Bristol City goal. Oh, and that's through to Tommy Conway. Tommy Conway's good, and he's very good. He's got his second goal of the season, and Bristol City go one up after 15 minutes. Never, ever let Tommy Conway get away from you. Lovely chipped shot into the back of the net. So we got to do it the hard way. Come from behind. Roslev. Perez. Yarmolek. Yarmolek over the top to Openda. Openda crosses it in. Lewis Potter. He's offside. Another free kick. In a similar position to last time, which is a little bit worrying. As we try and keep them at bay. And again, Weimann is in this time, and Weimann puts it straight through Raya. Having said Raya has had a couple of good games, he's made a couple of howlers. Well, the first one, I guess not, but that one was a complete howler, and we go 2-0 down after 34. No semi-finals for me this season, by the looks of it. This is poor. Tavares with a throw-in now to Lafay. Lafay crosses it deep for Roslev. Roslev brings it under control. He's got Yarmolek there in support. De Silva. De Silva out wide to Tavares. Tavares comes forward. Cross it into the box. It's gone wide from Lafay. Half-time comes, nothing more coming in that first half. It's pretty even Stevens, but they've just been more clinical than we have. Both have 4 chances. They've had 2 shots on target. We've had 1. They've put both their chances away. We've missed ours. 0.59 on the XG against a 0.22 on the XG. 50% possession. As I said, even Stevens. Bristol City have won the first half. We need to win the second half and some. First highlight of the second half, 54 minutes in, and Bristol City pumping that ball forward. Starfelt tidying up. Pablo Mari. Oh, you dozy beggar. Ah, dear. We go 3 down here. It's all over, and it is all over. Tommy Conway getting his second of the game. And, well, that's the Carabao Cup over and done with, boys and girls. And once again, we've had a good run offline. Come back online makes me look a right pillock. Well, with nearly 60 minutes on the clock, we're making 3 changes. And I'm absolutely disgusted with them at the moment. I really don't understand what has gone on. All I can tell you is that we've made those 3 changes. Raya is playing abysmally. I'm looking for a new goalkeeper in the transfer window. Strakowska comes on. David Raya, well, he needs a swift kick in the what's-its. We have also taken off our 2 front players, Perez and Openda both come off. Lewis Potter moving up front with Diversoglu coming on for Openda and Al Sheraway coming on for Perez. Let's hope we can get at least 1 goal back and make a game of it. And with 77 minutes on the clock, making 1 more change, we have got an injury to Josh De Silva, who's not had too bad a game out of everybody. He's probably played, him and Yarmolek have played the best, but Josh De Silva has picked up a knock. Hopefully it's nothing, it's a potential foot injury. And Madi Kamara comes on for him. Well, this episode's going the same way as the last one. That is all over. It's full time, no more highlights in that second half. And we had 14 shots, just 4 on target. 1.31, 49% of the possession. They had 8 shots, 4 on target, 0.85 and 51% of the possession. They've won by 3-0. We won't be appearing in any semi-finals anytime soon. Well, here's the results from the other Carabao Cup games. Manchester City beating Queen's Park Rangers by 4-2. Manchester United overcoming Southampton by 1-0. Marcus Rashford after 25 minutes. And Aston Villa beating Tottenham by 2-0. Wilfried Zaha getting both goals there. Koloveski getting sent off in that match after 51 minutes. Well, as you'll see from the match momentum screen, we weren't out of that game. We just give them the opportunities and let them take them. As you'll see, 5, 10, 15. They had 20 minutes in that first half. We had the best of the first half. Should have beat them. First half, Brentford enjoyed a better time of things. Brentford was strong in the second half. We had 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 minutes. They had 10 minutes at the start of the first half and a few 5 minutes. Well, after that diabolical result against Bristol City in the Carabao Cup quarter-final, no further progression in that competition. We move on swiftly and we will play Stoke in our next game. We've played Stoke so far this series, not at all. So this is the first time we've played them. So it should be rather interesting to see what goes down in this game. It's a bit of an unknown quantity. A game we should be winning. Stoke are in 15th place in the Championship. We are currently up there in 8th place. Stoke have lost 3 of their last 5, won the other 2. So it's a game that realistically we should be winning. Let's hope we can go and do it. Let's go and see the team that will face Stoke. And this is the team that will face Stoke in this Championship match day 23. Strakoshka takes over from Raya, who had an abysmal game against Bristol City, and I do not reward anybody who plays like that. As I said, I think we're looking for a goalkeeper in the winter transfer window. Beck Sorensen comes back in on the left side of defence. Starfelt and Murray in central defence. Finn Stevens out on the right in place of Roslev. Sharaway comes back in and makes a start on the left side of midfield. Winks and Spreet are central mid, with Lewis Potter out on the right this time. Pender and Perez up front because basically we don't have any other decent strikers. Raya, Roslev, Kramer, Kamara, Bidstrop, Diversoglu, and Nathan Coombs, Nathan Young Coombs. I'll get that right in a minute. Makes what could potentially be a debut, actually. So he comes into the side and I want to see what he can do. And this is how the two sides face off against one another. Brentford a 4-4-2. Sticking with that formation. And they are playing the flat three at the back, which seems to cause us problems. I don't know why it is. Stoke in 15th with 24 points. We are in 8th with 39 points. Confirmation of the two teams for you. First highlight comes just 11 minutes in, and it's a highlight for Stoke, but we've won the ball from a free kick. Pender. Sorensen holds the ball up for a minute, looking for a way through. He's trying to thread that through for Pender, but Pender, I thought he was going to pounce on that. And Stoke come away with the ball again. Highlight continues, which is always a bit of a worry. Through ball, but cut out by Stevens, who seems to have picked up an injury. Perez over the top. Pender is in. Pender puts it away. It's that's a bit more like it. 12th goal of the season. 12 minutes on the clock. And that's a bit more like it. Preet. Perez, a lovely through ball. Pender's away. Pender just calmly tucks it. We have a free kick. Starfelt with the free kick just inside their half. He's got Sorensen. Sorensen tries to thread that through. Didn't quite make it. But Sharaway comes back for it. Openda has Perez. Oh, flashes it over the top. No more highlights in that first half. And, Stoke 3 shots, 1 on target, 0.19 on the XG, 42% of the possession. We've had 6 shots, 2 on target, 0.88, 58% of the possession. Again, hitting barn doors seems to be a bit of a problem. And annoyingly, we have to make a change at half-time. We've had to take off Finn Stevens, who's picked up a knock. He's picked up a potential groin injury. Hopefully he won't be out for too long. We've taken him off and brought on Mads Roslev in that right wing-back position. He's complacent. He's probably picking up better than he was, but he's still not 100%. And we need to have somebody that's on board. But anyway, he's replacing Finn Stevens. First highlight of the second half, 52 minutes in. It's a Stoke throw-in, and they still have control of the ball. Loughton swinging that ball in. It's headed clear. Preet heads it on to Perez, but Perez didn't get there. And Stoke still have the ball. Danger, but Winks steps in. Perez to Openda. Openda is onside. Can Openda get his second of the game? He can. 13th goal of the season. And Lewis Openda is on a brace. 2-0 after 53. And hopefully that's a sign that we got 3 points in the bag. I did say that we had 59 points, I think. It's 39 points at the start of the game. It actually was 38. And with 60 minutes, nearly 61 minutes on the clock, we're making 2 changes, both for tiredness. Pablo Mari comes off, and we bring on Tristan Kramer in defence. And we've also taken off Keane Lewis Potter, who's played a few games, played quite well recently. But he's tired. He's come off. We've moved Preet out to wide to the right-hand side, and Bidstrup comes into central mid. Gillespie with the goal kick. Preet under that one to Perez. Perez to Kramer. Perez playing quite well in that deep line playmaker role today. That's through to Preet. Lovely ball. And Perez, straight at Gillespie. Preet with a free kick. And Gillespie had to get his hands to that, or it was going in. Corner ensues. Preet with the corner. It's going to be an outswinger. It's headed clear, but only as far as Bidstrup. Bidstrup has Preet there. Preet is offside. And with nearly 76 minutes on the clock, we're making one more change. Dennis Preet is getting tired. He's played quite well when he moved him out to that right-hand side, causing all sorts of problems, but he's picked up a yellow card as well. So we want to take him off. Bidstrup moves out to the right. Vinks moves to the deep line playmaker role. And Madi Kamara comes on into the ball-winning midfielder place in midfield. Can we get another goal? 2-0 at 76 minutes. Openda. Sharaway now. Sorensen tries to thread one through, but that falls to Sharaway. Sharaway, Perez, Kamara. Out to Sorensen. Sorensen now. What's he going to try and do with this? He's got Sharaway there. Sharaway threads it through, and I think it's a penalty. Taylor could get a booking. Openda. Freeze hat-trick. Puts it away. And Lewis Openda gets a hat-trick. I was dismayed with him against Bristol City, but he's taken it on board, bless him. And he's done what I would expect players to do. Is taking it by the scruff of the neck. And with nearly 83 minutes on the clock, Perez is coming off. He's had a good game, and deserves a goal, but he's not got it. And we're just going to give, as we've now got a comfortable 3-0 lead, we're going to give Nathan Young Coombs a run out in that deep lying. It's probably one of his favourite positions, but what is his best position? Do we know? A pressing forward. Okay, let's put him on as a pressing forward then. On attack. And he's come on for Perez. They have a free kick. It's swung in. Oh, it's come off the top of the crossbar. No more highlights. It's all over. A hat-trick from Luis Openda. A 12.53 and a penalty after 81 minutes. Gives us a resounding 3-0 win, and just goes to prove that it isn't me doing silly megas off of line. We can win. It just doesn't add up why we didn't play against Bristol City. They're in the Championship. It wasn't like it was a Premiership side and they overawed us. I don't understand. We played completely different in that game. 13 shots, 7 on target, 2.29 on the XG, 59% of the possession. They had 8 shots, 3 on target, 0.94, 41% of the possession. It's 3 points. How does that leave us in the table? Well, there are today's results, and as you see, Bristol City on a winning run at the moment, 2-1 against Coventry, but we've moved up into 6th place on 41 points, just behind Burnley on goal difference, and we are now just 1 point behind Bristol City and Blackburn in 3rd and 4th, and 10 points shy of Sheffield United, which I presume they must have lost today. They did. They lost to Blackburn, of all people. Interesting. So, Burnley losing to Reading as well. So, that pushes us up the table into the playoff positions. We really want to push on now and consolidate in those positions if we can. Let's go and have a look and see if we can pick up on the injury to Stevens. He's only out for 1 to 3 days. That's all right. I'm happy with that. It's not going to be anything major. We've got 3 days down to the Coventry game. Of course, the Christmas match is coming up now thick and fast. Boxing Day at Coventry, and then New Year's Eve or New Year's Eve to Blackburn, who are just above us. I'm thinking, given that there's no thing, we're going to come back for Blackburn and Crystal Palace, mainly because it's around the turn of the new year. In fact, there's only 2 days between those games as well. So they all come in thick and fast. But Blackburn are ahead of us, and if we can get a result against Blackburn, then that will push us on a little bit. Crystal Palace, of course, still top of the table at the moment. So 2 very tough matches near the top. Blackburn and Crystal Palace in the next episode. Then we'll come back for Chelsea in the FA Cup 3rd round and stay in London for the game in the Championship against Millwall, currently 11th in the table. Well, I hope you've enjoyed today's episode. If you have, leave me that big thumbs up, subscribe, and hit the notification button. That keeps you up to date with all future episodes of Project Turnaround. It will also keep you in the loop of when FM23 comes out, if it's not come out by the time this is released, on the beta version, that is, of course. I'll just make that quite clear because it's coming out on the 6th of November, the proper version. And we've started our other series, but it just keeps you all in the loop of what's going on. But the best way of making sure you don't miss anything is to follow me on Twitter, or X as it's called now, at JustOffsideFM is where you need to be. The other thing to say is don't forget that link down in the description if you haven't bought your copy of FM24 yet. And there's also a discount code down there as well to get yourself a little bit of extra money off as well. And it all goes to help this channel, as does the subscribe and notification business as well. New episodes of Project Turnaround are released every Tuesday and Friday at 4:15 p.m. Thank you for watching. We hope to see you for the next episode. It'll be episode 12. It's out on Friday, and if the beta's not released by then, we're pretty confident the beta will be coming on Friday. See you then. Bye-bye.